Okay, so now that we talked about our feelings, can we discuss some facts? This is from the U.S. Department of Justice Office on Violence Against Women. Myth number one: victims provoke sexual assault when they dress provocatively or act in a promiscuous manner. That's the myth. This is the fact. Rape and sexual assault are crimes of violence and control that stem from a person's determination to exercise power over another. Neither provocative dress nor promiscuous behavior are invitations for unwanted sexual activity. Forcing someone to engage in non consensual sexual activity is sexual assault, regardless of the way the person's dressed.
Listen, there is no disagreement with that. I never disagreed with that. What I'm saying is still there's a level of mindset that you have to try to minimize danger. For instance, a lion going in the lion's den, knowing a lion's nature, and then trying to say the lion shouldn't attack me is on you, is what I'm saying. The lion is in its nature, and that's what it's going to do. Unfortunately, a lot of times when men are talking about needing protection, they're talking about needing protection from who? Other men, because it's their nature.
It
So
is
what
not
is
their
what is
nature.
wait,
It is
Understand?
not
can we
their
Hold on,
nature.
hold
define
on. Let me finish. I
can we
didn't
define
interrupt.
what their
No, no,
nature
no.
is?
Oh, their nature is exactly what you were reading about. It's about power. It's about control. It's about all of those things. As women, we understand that. And now I know men are gonna like lambast me and say, "Oh, here we go with the feminism stuff." But you never know what it's like to be in a situation of a woman, so you can't speak to that. All I'm saying is the men on here is actually telling you their nature. We see cleavage, we want to fuck. We see a thong, we want to fuck. You have a outfit on that is showing all your body. We want it. So in knowing that, all I'm saying is we can't control their behavior. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. That's not something that is on us to control. They have to have discipline. They have to do that. All I'm trying to say is if there's a way to minimize the stares, the groping or what have you,
Oh,
if if it would take
And
me to say, you know what, I know I'm going
this
in this area and I know that the men are like this, I'm going to try my best to minimize the interaction that I have. Now, does that mean that some men still aren't? No, it doesn't. But it doesn't mean, well, I don't give a rat's because they need to learn how to do X, Y, and Z. So now I'm gonna just walk up there anyway. Like I don't believe that we're arguing this point. What you read, I read that same exact thing that you read, and I agree with it. But being a responsible adult, I have to try to find ways to interact in the world that I live in that shouldn't be the way that it is. And unfortunately, I have to move a certain way. Period.
so you have
so you
to.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, like I think. Hold on, Ash. I know. No, was it DJ? Go ahead, DJ. We can respond to it.
Okay. Myth number two: if a
Oh my
person goes
god.
to someone's room, house, or goes to a bar, she assumes the risk of sexual assault. If something happens later, he or she can't claim that it was rape or sexual assault because he or she should have known not to go to those places. That's the myth. The fact is, this assumption of risk wrongfully places the responsibility on the offender's actions with the victim. Even if a person went voluntarily to someone's residence or room and consented to engage in some sexual activity, it does not serve as a blanket consent for all sexual activity. If a person is unsure about whether the other person is comfortable with an elevated level of sexual activity, the person should stop and ask. When someone says no or stop, that means stop. So I said all that to say that we keep insinuating if you go to this place, you deserve what you get, Darwin. If you wear this, then you deserve what you get, mistaken. We can't keep these narratives are so dangerous because we're also excusing predatory behavior. And we have to put the onus where it belongs, the person that is violating another person. Just because
Mhm.
someone is, let's just go with this argument that you provoked me. That doesn't mean that you should act. You're not a lion. You are a human being with reasoning, critical thinking. You have the ability to be able to have some type of impulse control. You know that there are consequences to your actions. You're not a freaking lion. You're a person that has the ability to critically think and say, you know what? Probably shouldn't do that. Probably shouldn't
Yeah, probably
violate a
shouldn't wear
person,
that.
even
Doesn't
though
that go
I
both
feel
ways
Hold
turned
on.
though?
Yeah.
on.
All
I'm
right.
almost
Hold
finished.
on, hold on,
Even
wait,
though
wait,
I
Trey, let
Goes
me
both
feel,
respond because
ways.
even
Hold on.
though
Hold on.
I
hold
feel
I
turned
got to give me a
on,
sec.
that doesn't give me
well,
the
I just want to
right
clear up
to
what
violate.
the
Okay, I'm almost
mischaracterization she
finished,
got me
Darwin.
on.
It doesn't give me the right
Go
to
ahead, talk
violate
forever.
someone because I feel sexually turned on or I feel intrigued or I want to have power. That doesn't put you in a position to now violate that person. That doesn't line you up to violate somebody. I'm done.
Okay, so let me
Yeah.
say this. I'm gonna be quick, Trav. For the people who keep turning their homework in late, I never said anything about you have the right or you should get violated or whatever. What I said was, if I'm your parent and I have principles and standards that I expect you to uphold, and I coach you and train you and teach you on them. The reason why I'm telling you not to go down there and do that, because I could see what's going to happen before you get see. I can already foresee what's going to happen. I already know what's going to happen. So I'm proactive. What I'm the reason why most of the time the reason why your parents is doing that because they got your best interest at heart. They already know the dangers that lie for you ahead. So they're trying to prevent it by getting in front of it. So when you go out there and do the shit, then what the hell you think is gonna happen? The parents already know what's gonna happen. That's my whole point. Go
All
ahead,
right.
Trey.
So, yeah, there was two things about that. I don't believe the article you just stated really supports your point. It sounded opinionated, and the opinion was pretty much a consensus on the panel. Everybody collectively agrees that you shouldn't allow people to be abused, right? We don't think that anyone should be abused. I think that's a consensus here. I don't think anyone thinks differently. We don't. None of that stuff gives the right for anyone to do it. No matter how you dress, no one still has the right. Like, we're not excusing any of that behavior. We're simply acknowledging the existence of it. And that's where the disconnect is. That's all we're doing is we're letting you know these are dangers that do exist from people on a lower frequency, right? Who are really ready to violate. We're not doing that, right? That's not what we're trying to do. That's not what we're trying to condone or promote. Certainly not. That's not what we believe in. But we do know that this is real life. That's all we're saying. Nothing else. This is real life, and the topic was protection. So we're saying this is how we instruct our daughters and our wives and women in our life how they should conduct themselves to mitigate risk. You can't eliminate anything, but you can absolutely mitigate risks. And I can tell you for a fact that people will treat you differently based on your appearance. Period.
Also, also, why do we always have to go to the extreme of grape or SA when we're talking about why our women shouldn't look a certain way or go out dressed a certain way? Hold on. Because I don't think any of those women on that panel, when they were talking about their whole phase, when they talked about how they're perceived in the media, had anything to do with them being SA. A lot of women don't understand that, hey, by me moving this way, why don't men see me as wifey material? Why don't men want to date me? Why don't men want to talk to me? Why do men avoid me? And some women, and I hear that question more than I hear, why do men want to grape me because I'm dressed a certain way? Most of the time, when I hear women complain about how they're perceived as hoes, is normally in how men treat them in a date and when they're dating. Why did this man only want to hit it and quit it? Why did he ghost me after he found out this about me? That's normally what we hit. When I hear women complaining, that's the argument. Why do we always got to go to the such an extreme of, oh, it's always about being great? It's not always that when we're talking about the woman, how women are perceived, especially black women are perceived when it comes to their promiscuity or their sexuality. A lot of the times it's that we don't even see them as wifey material, and they're wondering why.
But the Sweeney, the
Hold
reason
tight,
why
y'all.
they
Hold
think
tight,
like that is because they okay with all the other issues that could happen. They okay with the baby out of wedlock. They okay with the STD. All the things I stated, the only thing that stuck out is the only thing that they really were concerned about, and that was being SA. All of the single parent households and baby out of wedlocks, chlamydia, gonorrhea, they was fine with that. That shit went over their head. Oh yeah, SA, I can't deal with that part, but I can deal with the other shit. That's the reason why they're not concerned about that.